Days, weeks, and months passed as they lived there. It was discovered that they were only on a small island surrounded by the ocean. Elia also learned about the kinds of creatures, crystals, plants, and others on that island because of the books that the curator owned. The only thing that wasn't in the book was about the book Elia have, the Vacuum book. But he learned from the book the story of the curator and Barnaby. According to the story, Barnaby and the curator were travelers. They both traveled together across the world to find powerful tools. But because of a strong storm, their ship broke, and the waves took them to this island. They had to live and study there to survive. Because of their time on the island, they found many powerful tools, which helped them stay alive for a long, long time. But the book also told a dark and sad secret. As the years went by, the curator changed. He became greedy and selfish. He looked at the endless ocean and grew terrified. He did not want to be alone in that empty place. The curator thought that one day, Barnaby would find a way to fly away and leave him behind. Because of this fear, the curator did something terrible. He imprisoned his best friend. He took iron, melted, and locked Barnaby's body, hiding his beautiful wings so he could never fly again. Barnaby stayed in like that for many years. Even when the curator was old and facing his final death, his selfishness did not stop. He wanted someone to be with him forever. That was why Barnaby never escaped. He stayed trapped in that iron body right beside his master's body, even after the curator drew his last breath. Elia sat on the floor, holding the book of curator. Tears filled his eyes and fell onto the old pages. He looked across the room and found Barnaby. The small creature was sitting quietly in the corner, looking outside the door. The heavy iron were still around him. Elia walked over to him slowly, his legs shaking. He dropped to his knees in front of the Barnaby. "Barnaby," Elia whispered, his voice cracking with sadness. "I read the book. I know what he did to you. He locked you away because he was afraid. You were his friend and he hurt you." Barnaby let out a low, soft sound from his throat. He did not look angry. He slowly pushed his small head, reaching toward Elia's head. "Why aren't you mad?" Elia asked, wiping a tear from his cheek. "He kept you in the dark for so many years. You have wings, Barnaby. You were meant to fly in the sky, not to be stuck on this small island." Barnaby closed his eyes. A gentle, warm light began to shine from his chest. In Elia's mind, a soft voice spoke. It was not a scary voice. It felt like a warm blanket on a cold night. "At first, I was sad," the voice whispered in Elia's heart. "The iron was cold, and I missed the wind. But I saw his mind grow sick with fear. The island changes people who stay too long alone. He was not a bad man when we started our journey. He was just a man who lost his way in the dark." Elia looked at Barnaby. "But he kept you here even when he died. That is not fair to you." "I stayed because I chose to stay at the end," Barnaby's voice replied softly. "When he was dying, he held my hand. He cried and asked for forgiveness. He was so small and afraid of the dark. I realized that if I left him, he would die completely alone. I stayed so he could feel love in his last breath. I do not blame him, Elia. My heart is at peace." Hearing these words, Elia felt a deep ache in his chest. Barnaby had so much love inside him, even after suffering for so long. Elia placed both of his hands on the cold iron body that Barnaby's have. He closed his eyes and focused all his energy to remove the metal in Barnaby's body. "You have been a prisoner for too long," Elia said clearly, his voice becoming strong. "The old guardian is gone and he is at rest. You showed him mercy. Now it is time for you to be free." Suddenly, the powerful book appeared and began to glow with a bright golden light. The light flowed from the book, up through Elia's arms and straight into the iron body of Barnaby. With a loud clang, the heavy metal cracked and broke apart. The iron fell to the floor, shattering into small pieces of dust. Barnaby stood up to his full height. For the first time in many years, he stretched his massive wings. They were beautiful, catching the light from the window. He looked at Elia, his eyes shining with deep gratitude. "Go." Elia smiled through his tears, pointing toward the open door. "See the sky again." Barnaby walked to the doorway, looked back at Elia, and let out a happy cry. With a powerful leap, he flew into the bright blue sky, finally free.